We're keeping a close watch on the situation in Capitol Hill. Here's a few things that we know. President Trump put out a message urging his supporters to go home and keep it peaceful. Here's the quick clip.
Okay, we're going to go to that right now. Here's a message from President Trump.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel, but go home and go home in peace.
I mean, talking about somebody who has a great play with words, this guy, that's why he was about to win the election in 2016. But guys, let's take this seriously, more seriously. He's talking about this election being fraudulent. Look, Mitch McConnell, even Mike Pence, they have not seen any reason to be able to overturn the election. There has been no reason for them to be able to overturn the election. Okay? Human error happens when it's election time. That is always the case. But that's not even enough. Like, the evidence they have is not even enough or close enough to overturn any election. Now, the words that he was using, very careful chosen words. He's talking about understanding that his people are hurt. He understands their pain. He also talked about the election being stolen. He also says he doesn't want anybody or anyone to get hurt. Well, Mr. President, that is too late right now. People are already dying. And you're responsible for that. You're responsible because if you really cared so much about your voters, about your people, this is a kind of message that you could have been putting out a long time ago. But on the contrary, Mr. President, you actually were saying you are going to attend some of these demonstrations, and we clearly saw the president out today, broad daylight, rallying up and cheering up his supporters, saying he's not going to concede anything. He's not going to accept any defeat. He tweeted out against Pence that he didn't have any courage in him. He didn't have any courage in him to overturn the election. Calling the guy in Georgia, talking about he needed to find 11,000 votes. The Secretary of State or State Secretary, whatever, he called him talking about he needs to find 11,000 votes to overturn the election. Only if the president conceded, none of this would have been a case. The election is not fraudulent. The election was peaceful. The election was something that comes from democracy, which America has always stood on until this point. He's done everything to undermine democracy in America. There is no fraudulent, and you cannot play both sides. You cannot advocate for peace all along when he sees his supporters out there now in, fight mode, into just the craziness they've displayed. And now you want to come out and say, oh, you want peace, when you clearly understand they're not going to be out there. They're not going to be out there stopping at nothing, at no reason to go home. You're the one who was telling the Proud Boys to stand by. You're the one who was saying, cheering them up this morning. What are you talking about going home? What peace are you talking about? But I want to urge everybody, make sure that you do your part in preserving the democracy of the great nation of America. Please go home. We asking you to please go home.